Okay, welcome. This is a pick a card reading for the Libra full moon, which is happening on the 5th. What day is today? Monday, 3rd. So on Wednesday. On Wednesday, the 5th of April, there's a full moon in Libra. And so we'll be kind of like seeing in this moon cycle what's closing up, what's closing out, what we're letting go of, what's come to fruition. So if you kind of look back to the end of September is when this moon cycle had started. Were there any seeds that you were planting then, or is there anything that you wanted to achieve, or if there was something going on in your life that was kind of beginning, but that now might be coming to a close, or that now might be coming to fruition? So we're going to see what's being focused on for this full moon. And it's a pick a card reading. So I've got 3 pyramids in front of me. The first one is a multi-crystal pyramid. So that's for pile number 1. Group 1 is a multi-crystal pyramid. Group 2 is a blue Egyptian pyramid. And number 3 is a kind of battered selenite pyramid. So that's for group 3. So group 1, group 2, group 3. Okay, so group 1, if you chose the multi-crystal pyramid, this is your group. Not sure entirely what all these crystals are. Obsidian, quartz anyway. Angelite looks like maybe. A jasper and something else, but maybe you've a lot going on at the moment and that's why you kind of chose that, or you need things to be kind of more in balance. But we'll just see what's coming up here. So you've got the World, the Queen of Voices, which is the Queen of Swords, and the Seven of Emotions. Then you've got the Nurture Your Friendships, and we have the 12th house. Okay, interesting, because the 12th house is the last sign of the zodiac. It's associated with Pisces. And you've got 21, the World here, which is the last tarot, the last major arcana tarot card. So that's, seems like something is definitely ending. Something's coming to a close. There's something new about to begin, but you might perhaps be in the moment of the space between something ending and something else beginning, which is interesting. It may not be like something that's forced upon you that's ending. It might just be that you're letting go of something, or something's kind of naturally coming to a close. Just because it's ending doesn't mean it's negative. The 12th house is to do with something to do with our spirituality, to do with our mental health, to do with maybe kind of like institutions or something, like, maybe there's a closing out of something you used to believe in, like to do with your spirituality, or an ending of a program you were taking in an institution, or a time spent, let's say something like kind of rehab or something like this. Yeah, it could also be something to do with kind of something that you were working on or dealing with, to do with your mental health, is now ending, or you're now letting go of that you've done something since September. Something has kind of played itself out, or you've helped to play something out, or you've gone as far as you can go with regards to thinking a certain way or believing a certain thing. So that's interesting, but we'll get into it. It's even more interesting that we're on a full moon, which is an ending. You have the last tarot card of the major arcana and the last astrology thing. So I feel like this is a very big ending, something quite big. The fact that Nurture Your Friendships is here is kind of saying that maybe you might need friends at this time. The Queen of Voices is someone who can be quite distant and alone and kind of dealing with things all by herself. She's the Queen of Swords in the traditional tarot. Um, she's quite astute and maybe direct in her way of thinking, can be quite cutting and stark, is what I want to say. But like really, really decisive and really, really intelligent and really, really, I feel like there might be some, you might have been dealing with something alone and only able to deal with it alone, or you were dealing with something or going through a process to do with your spirituality where you needed to be alone and you had to think these things through. I feel like you might have been getting an awful lot of downloads. There's an awful lot of ravens around here. Maybe you were delving into something to do with kind of like witchcraft or magic or something like this that maybe is coming to an end, or there's a new stage of that's happening. It's funny here, I keep being drawn to this prison, kind of, this looks like a prison. This is for the 12th house. Now the 12th house isn't a prison, but prisons are associated with that. But it could be some way of thinking that was keeping you locked in, or there was something to do with your mental health that was holding you back from something, or holding you back from people, holding you back from your friendships. Yeah, the Queen of Voices, she seems to be looking at this ending and contemplating it and thinking about it, but she's kind of focused on the ending. She's not looking at the Seven of Emotions here. And the Seven of Emotions is all about your options, your choices. There is confusion because you don't know what to choose necessarily, but nonetheless, there are options there. Sometimes when like there's a big ending to do with something, this does actually kind of feel like something that's kind of being forced into an ending, or something that you can't take anymore, rather, just because it just feels like such a big ending. Like if you felt, something might naturally come to a close, like, oh, this program ended, or this job ended, this relationship ended, whatever that is. But so that's outside of your control, and that's something that ends, perhaps not to do with you. Then there could be an ending with regards to you having felt trapped in a situation and you feel like you don't have any other choice but to end it, like it has to be ended. So that feels like it's out of your control, because, or it's not up to you about the ending because it doesn't seem like there's another option. Yeah, now it's kind of coming in that it's like there are other options. Are you thinking that there has to be an ending, that this has to end, whatever this is? But in fact, there are other options there, but you're confused about what the other options are. The Seven of Emotions is, there's kind of this lack of stability with it, because there are many things that you could choose, and there's almost like a fear of not being able to choose the correct thing, or not choosing the correct thing. There could be so many options available to you that none of them really seem viable, because you can't see past the face value of them. Whereas the ending seems quite definitive and quite sure. She's standing there, arms up, face front, world in her arms. This is kind of more like wishy-washy. However, there's an awful lot of water involved in both of these. Now the world is Saturn, and it is in water here. So Saturn is in Pisces at the moment. And the Seven of Cups is Venus in Scorpio. Venus is all about what we value. what we love, who we love. Can also be about kind of artistic endeavors and material wealth. Yeah, I'm just wondering what the options are. I'm wondering if this ending is coming to a close. This thing is coming to a close, whatever that may be. Something to do with mental health, institution, spirituality, and you're kind of just focused on the ending, but yet there are options after the ending. Say, or is it that the ending is not the only option? There are actually other options. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but perhaps the fact that it's such a, yeah, the ending feels actually more definitive. This is only a minor arcana card, so it's not as strong as this major arcana. And also you have it doubled down with the 12th house. But there's something about your friends here. You might perhaps need to talk to your friends, or yeah, get in touch with your friends or spend time with your friends to discuss your options, because they may have some insight with you, for you rather. Yeah, there's like this empty table and chairs here where like two people should be sitting. And I feel like maybe you haven't been nurturing your friendships, or you've been disconnected from your friends for a while, or people who care about you or who you care about. But it might be time, this could be part of it, might be time to end this kind of disconnection that you've had with others. And you may need to talk to them about what you've been through or what's been going on. Yeah, it's like the Queen of Voices needs to reconnect, which can be kind of hard. I want to check out what the Seven of Emotions, the Seven of Cups is saying. Ooh. Judgment. Okay, so there's a second chance here. Yeah, we're closing out the end. There's a rebirth, a second chance. That you're going to get a do-over. You're going to get to do something again. I wonder, is this to do with a friend? It's also like judgment is really, it can be literally judgment, like kind of like looking back, judging, but with acceptance. Like judging yourself, how you were in a relationship or in a friendship or in a situation, but like holding love and acceptance for who you were and also who the other person was, and seeing how you've traveled and how far you've come from that, but also understanding why you did that and how you wouldn't do that again, how you would do things differently now. And maybe that's one of your options, is to look at it like this, or to go back over something, to do it a little differently, or to speak to someone about that, because we have the bugle here, and it's like speaking, it's like vocalizing. These two other cards also popped out, the Hanged Man and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, okay, so you might be coming with an apology, or someone might be coming with an apology to you, but it may take some time. You may speak to someone. This ending, is this an ending of a friendship even? Someone who, yeah. The judgment is to have this awakening about how you've been or who you were in a situation or a relationship. And the Hanged Man is asking you to see that from another perspective and to just have patience with yourself. And perhaps after that, you go and give an apology to someone that's needed, or some sort of an offer of kind of love and acceptance. You know, it's water, it's Knight of Cups. Or someone else does that to you. Someone comes and gives you an apology. I kind of feel like it's you giving an apology. Now, I don't know if you've done apologize for anything, but maybe that's not everyone's story. Um, but there is a kind of like an offer of genuine kind of love here. But it doesn't. There's a bit of work to do in that. There's a bit of time. There's a bit of perspective that needs to happen. Um, so yeah, that's kind of it. I want to kind of close it out with a moon card because it feels not resolved yet. It feels like, yeah, kind of like I was saying at the start, there's this space in between endings and where to go next and what to do next. And it kind of feels like that. That's why it's not coming out resolved. Like sometimes the reading, there's a resolution in the end, but not now. Not in this one, not yet. Emotions are running high. Okay, yeah, there might be an awful lot of this might be quite close to the bone. So this is maybe why there's this confusion about what to do. You can't do it from that space of being overly emotive about it, and maybe because it's such a big ending, maybe the ending has just happened, and so it's quite raw for everyone involved, and so that to focus on that and bide your time before, because if you don't know what the options are, you can't move forward. You shouldn't move forward, and so it's about then, okay, an option, since I don't know the course of action to take, is one option is to look back with love on how I was in that, to all parties involved, have a bit of patience, see it from another perspective, and then perhaps go forward or be receptive to maybe speaking about it or having an apology to do something. It could also be, if we're kind of talking about mental health and stuff, like speaking to a therapist or something, that could also be one of those. Could be an option there, or someone who's in an institution. Maybe you're not the one in the institution, it's someone who's going into an institution. It could be to do with that. So, but not to do anything right now because the emotions are running high. And to just give yourself a bit of space and time for this ending to happen, or this seeming ending to happen, and to then, once the emotions have kind of like died down somewhat, to consider the options then. In the meantime, to just kind of maybe let it end and be in this space in between this ending and whatever beginning happens after that. Okay, I hope that helped. I hope that resonated with some of you. So thank you, group one. Okay, hi group two. If you chose the Egyptian pyramid, this is your tarot reading. Okay, so maybe some of you have connections to Egypt, or there's some Egyptian kind of philosophy or myth that is taking your fancy. And the fact that it's kind of blue, it's about communication and listening, hearing. So maybe there is something, be that a person with Egyptian heritage, an Egyptian person, or some Egyptian myth, or, you know, to do with gods, goddesses, whatever, that's kind of holds some interesting information for you. But anyway, we'll get into your reading. Okay, so the Six of Inspiration. Six of Inspiration. Oh, just move that out of the way. Six of Emotions. Two of Cups. Interesting, there's two sixes here. Okay, so we'll see what house this is to do with. So the 8th house and confidence. Okay. So if we're talking about the Libra full moon and kind of closing out something, a full moon, something is coming into our kind of vision that maybe wasn't there before. Something's coming to to fruition or closing out. If that's in the eighth house for you, the eighth house is to do with death and rebirth. It's to do with other people's money. So not money you earn from an income, but money that you earn through other things. So other people, it can be inheritance, it can be your partner's wealth, it can be payments from bank, tax, debt, this kind of thing, all to do with that. It can also, there can be a bit of a where we find power or where we're in power dynamics with other people or other entities, such as like banks, etc. So interesting that this is kind of like this rebirth, death, other people's money thing. So we've confidence twice here because the Six of Inspiration is the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is all about kind of success and confidence. And so it's doubled up here. So you've got a double confidence and you've also got a double six. So the Six of Emotions is the Sun in Scorpio, and the Six of Wands is Jupiter in Leo. Interesting. So Jupiter in Leo, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, growth. Leo is the sign of the leader, look at me, drama, not drama necessarily in a negative way, kind of like, you know, just kind of being okay with being front and center on stage. Six of Emotions is about kind of nostalgia and kind of looking back, and Scorpio would be quite a nostalgic sign. Scorpio is traditionally linked to the eighth house. So yeah, there could be looking back. There could be looking back at another time. Okay, what I'm getting straight off the bat is that there you are moving towards something and it's gaining momentum. The Six of Inspiration isn't the end of a journey. It's kind of like it's a success along the way, but you're gleaning some power from that success. You're gleaning some, it's helping you along on your path. It's helping you to go to the distance, but you seem to be stopped then right here. So you're stuck at sixes. You're stuck here because you're looking back at the past. Sometimes this card can be a kind of happier looking card, kind of looking back at the past and being a bit like, oh, that was lovely and nice memories. But in this particular deck, she looks a bit forlorn and she looks a bit kind of, you know, out of it, kind of looking back at her past, looking back at her childhood when it was a happier time, or dwelling on the, yeah, is that it? It's kind of like it's dwelling on the, so there is a level of success here. Yes, you don't, I feel like maybe you don't see it as success because you're looking back at when you were a kid and what you wanted to be or what kind of relationship you wanted to have, because we have relationship here, we have the Two of Cups. It can be a romantic relationship or it can be a friendship relationship, but it's a real, or a business partnership, but it's a kind of a real connection between two people. It's a genuine soul connection with someone. So I don't understand, does the relationship you have not look like what you thought it would be, but yet it does seem very successful to everybody else? Why are you, or is there something preventing you from moving forward into this blissful kind of couple place or partnership, business or friendship partnership? because of something in your past. Something in your past is holding you back, or dwelling on your past is holding you back. It could be loss or death even of someone before, and maybe you don't trust. I'm kind of getting a little bit of abandonment or something, fear of abandonment, um, because to do with the eighth house is to do with kind of um, personal power. So yeah, and it's focused on the blue down here, and I think, yeah, we have personal power written down here. And it's kind of like the blue is kind of linking this together, and then I feel like these are together here. It's like this kind of like golden hues kind of here, and then we have these blue hues, and I feel like these are tying in together. And so this is I'll just read it there. Personal power, the mysteries of life, a major change. Yes, like the death rebirth kind of thing. And so there's kind of like looking back to the past, maybe where you weren't exercising your personal power and dwelling on that. And so, but I don't get this. I don't understand why then this is here. Are these two different people? Are these not both you? Someone's dwelling on the past and someone wants to move forward. Someone's stuck in the past and someone wants to move. That it's kind of splitting for me now. Someone wants to move forward and thinks this is a great relationship, and the other person is stuck dwelling on the past about where they lost their personal power, fearing that that's going to happen again. Maybe still in grief, or going back to grief where there was a literal death of something, or sorry, excuse me, someone. But this person just wants to move on. They look like the same person to me, but look like the couple here is kind of like yin yang as well. They're like upside down. Yeah, no, sorry, they're not upside down. They're one on top. I don't know how to explain that. Sorry. So I don't know how to describe that. They're kind of, is it juxtaposition maybe is the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's like there's opposition going on. There's opposition, but then there's this like lovely unity. Your message anyway is to have confidence though that things will work out, because this is still like a really beautiful card. Like this is still, look at them, like they're like in flow with each other, dancing together in the water, and they're just like in delight and looking at each other straight in the eye and accepting each other despite their differences, despite one being one way and the other being another way. I want to clarify that a bit. I just want to see more about the Two of Cups. Four of Swords, the Tower, the Hierophant. Okay, so the Four of Cups is chill. Or sorry, excuse me, the Four of Swords is chill, relax, that's fine. You just need to maybe not push yourself or not push someone else, and just maybe try not to worry about whatever this is that you're worried about. And maybe meditate also, just to maybe get clearer on some answers that you need. Something is going to fall away. Yeah, something is going to fall away. Something is going to dismantled, but it needs to be dismantled. I'm not saying that this relationship is or something, but it feels like the tower in this instance to me feels like it's, sorry if you can hear the lawnmower outside going, but hopefully you don't. It feels like to me that this is the thing that needs to break so that it can kind of move on into this kind of steady and secure, you know, this is very stable, this is very secure, this is quite, it's sometimes a marriage card, but like it's also kind of like really uh spiritual but traditional. Yeah, there's something that's going to be kind of rocked. Something that's going to be rocked. I want to see what the tower is. Like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave you just with a tower. Because I know there's a lot of fear around a tower. Yeah, just looking for more information on the tower. Okay. Right. Death, Nine of Cups, Two of Pentacles, the Fool. Right, that's not on camera. Okay, that's a lot that jumped out altogether. So, death, ending, Scorpio again. So we've got 1, 2, 3 Scorpio associated cards. So there is something about a rebirth. There is something about going deep. There is something about, if this isn't you with another person, it's about you going deep and figuring out what this thing is that you are dwelling on or stuck on, or for whatever reason, why are you being reminded of the past? Why are you going back to the past? And you do have the confidence to get it. You have what it takes to get out of this if you are feeling stuck. Is there something that's reminding you this? Are you not allowing yourself any success? Because who are you to want that based on what's come from the past? Anyway, you're going to get out of that. That's going to fall away. And I think meditation is really going to help you, and perhaps connecting to your faith, to your religion, to your spirituality, when this falls away. I think that is what's going to build you up. It can be simply just reading religious texts, or it can be reading spiritual philosophy, like something like that that helps you. So something's going to fall away, but that needs to happen. So it's falling away. It's doubly falling away. Scorpio is like down in the depths of it, but it comes back. The scorpion comes back and rises into the falcon and then to the phoenix. You're getting what you want then. Your wishes are coming true. The Nine of Cups is wishes coming true. You're going to be juggling a few things, and here we have 2 2s again. It's all about pairing, it's all about coupling, it's all about managing, balancing. You're going to be balancing things, and then a new cycle is beginning all over again. A new energy, a new vibrant energy, and you're taking risks and you're off again. You have the confidence to kind of go forward with it, whatever it is. But for a while, until you get a handle of it, it seems there's so much of this going on in this reading. It's that the juxtaposition, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, of the two. The colors here relating, the juggling, the two. It's just the two kind of opposites again. It's just there's an awful lot of I feel like you're going to have to do a bit of a balancing act for a while. You are getting what you want until you're okay in this kind of natural state. I hope that makes sense. I'm not entirely sure it is, but I'm going to close it out with sorry, it's too many cards. A moon card, just to, your hard work is paying off. Yeah, okay, new moon in Capricorn, so that would be around December, January time. But ignore the timing, because this is to do with the Libra full moon. But you're obviously working hard on something. You're working hard to get this success, and maybe you're working hard at this success to get over this whatever it is that you're thinking about on the past. The eighth house, sorry, it's just coming back to me now, it can also be to do with kind of like therapy and kind of trauma and things like that. So yeah, you may be seeing a therapist or something with the Hierophant, and they might be helping you with this. That kind of maybe seems likely for what's going on here, but it's going to come to fruition. Like it's happening, it's moving. There is definitely going to be this new start with your wishes coming through. It may not feel natural initially, but eventually you'll be okay, and you'll be able to move on in whatever, whoever you are in this reading, in whatever way you need to. You'll be able to start afresh with this kind of new energy, because whatever you're doing is working. So it's kind of, this reading is basically just telling you to have confidence to keep going, because your hard work is paying off. Okay. I hope that made sense to someone. So thank you for watching, group 2. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this quite lived in selenite pyramid, this is your reading. There's something I really like about this kind of battered selenite pyramid. Could be something going on with you. Some of you may be letting yourself shine when before you may not have, or you could be kind of communicating with the divine more. You could be going forward with something that you don't feel worthy of, or you don't feel ready, but you're still going ahead with it. So anyway, that's just besides. We'll see what your cards say. So the Knight of Emotions, the Three of Emotions, the Queen of Emotions. So there's a lot of emotions. Temperance. Yes, you're the only pile that 4 cards came out for, so I left the 4 cards. Got Rock the Boat and the 3rd house. Okay, so just straight off the bat, there's a whole load of water here. So water is all to do with feelings, emotions, relationships. Yeah, like even your God, what are those cards called again? Happiness card is excuse me. Rock the Boat. It's got a lot of water in it, and boats. And Temperance, like Temperance is Sagittarius, but it even feels very kind of watery and moony. Like that's a lotus flower, is it? Like it just feels like, okay, there's a need to balance emotions here, or something emotional here. There's a need to balance something emotional. You've got the Knight of Emotions, which could be someone coming in with an apology, or you going with an apology to someone. It could be an offer of love. It could be just an emotive conversation. Not sure who that's coming from. This may have happened already, this apology or conversation or declaration of love, whatever it is. The Three of Emotions, is Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury in Cancer, it's all about kind of like loving conversations and connecting through conversation and through mind. Interestingly, yes, this is the third house. Anyway, I'll get to that, but these are both mind-based, communication-based. I wonder. And then you've got the Queen of Emotions, who is the most emotionally mature queen of the whole tarot deck. So she knows who she is. She's got it figured out. She doesn't let her emotions control her. She is extremely empathetic, compassionate, intuitive, and sensitive. Not meaning sensitive in a kind of like overt way, but kind of sensitive to others' emotions, sensitive to her surroundings, sensitive to kind of just the nuance um, that other people don't quite catch. And then you've got Temperance, which is about balance and change. So Temperance is a number 5. So 5s are like all about change. Something's changing, something's happening. So this is all to do with your third house. Now, your third house is your ideas, your communication, how you think. It's traditionally linked to Gemini. Gemini's ruler is Mercury. So Mercury is here, Mercury in Cancer. And we've got Mercury here. It's also about kind of trips, taking a trip, but it's more kind of in your local neighborhood, in the locale. It's not going too far. It can be about like transportation as well. I think some of you might actually be taking a trip, or like, because you've got the boat here as well. Um, but it's not going to be going so far. Like it could be just going over the sea. I mean, I don't know who's listening to me, but like, you know, like if you're in Ireland, it could be literally just like going over to the UK or something. You know, it's that kind of short. You know, it's not going to Thailand or something like that. It's more around here. Some of you are taking a trip. You're thinking about taking a trip. You're planning a trip. And then others, it's about how you think and rocking the boat, thinking differently, saying things differently, doing things differently, going somewhere different. I want to read what's on the back. It is perfectly fine to rock the boat and think outside the box, as it can open infinite possibilities you might not have thought of before. Yeah, there's something about your way of thinking going on here. And so we've got Sagittarius, which is a very kind of like, let's say, out there, spiritual, philosophical thinker. And you've got Mercury and Cancer, who's got this empathy and depth in their speech and in their understanding of communication. You've got communicating, either you or with or someone else, communicating something loving or apologetic or from the heart. Okay, I'm going to. Okay, are you getting an apology, or are you getting an apology, or giving an apology? And you do this in a very heartfelt and empathetic way. There's a way to do this, but you're actually standing in your power here. You're standing in your power, but do you have to tell someone something that they're not really going to want to hear? Yeah, and you're being asked to balance it. But I need more information because, okay, what's the Knight of Emotions? What's the Knight of Emotions. Yeah, I think you need to say something to someone, or they're saying something to you that you don't want to hear. I feel it more like you. Knight of Emotions is options. It's the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is Venus in Scorpio. Venus is all about kind of love, what you value, what you appreciate, what you find, what you're drawn to. It's not like this raw animal attraction. It's just kind of what what you appreciate about someone. Okay, we've got double Three of Cups. Okay, is a friend telling you something, or is there a relationship or someone telling you something, and it's something that you don't want to hear, but you're being asked to temper your response, but to stand in your power. I'm still not 100% clear on this. Ooh, right, these flew out. Okay, I'll just move them up there so you can see. You've got the Seven of Cups. You've got the Three of Cups again. You've got the Six of Wands. And you've got the Five of Swords. Okay. Venus in Scorpio. Mercury in Cancer. Jupiter in Leo. Venus in Aquarius, I think. Yeah. I think you have to be true to yourself about what's going on. I think there might be someone being a bit manipulative around the place. I think someone's putting their needs perhaps above yours, or they're putting needs. Could be like partying or something like that, or just having a good time, or not really focusing on I think, yeah, rock the boat. You need to put your foot down about something, maybe. Okay, so for someone, perhaps there's something to do with kind of partying too much and being in this kind of low vibration place. And I don't know if that's you or the other person. There may be excess kind of going on, and so there's a need to balance things. You need to take charge of that. Either if it's you're about yourself, take charge of that kind of excess. Or if it's about someone else, it could be speaking that truth to them. You may need to disconnect from people who only want, who aren't really kind of focused on things other than the pleasures in life. Because there's success here, but there's also fighting here. I think there's highs and lows with this group of friends, perhaps, relationship, or with yourself. There's kind of highs and lows to do with what's going on. There could be a lot of drama here because there's just so much water. I think you might think differently to those you're hanging around with. Or someone is going to come to you and say, and it's kind of, I feel like it's more you. I think you might need a change of something. the change could be a trip somewhere. Or there's something going on in a relationship where it's, or in a friend group where it's kind of like high minute, low the next. There's always kind of something going in on just drama every 2 seconds. There's manipulation. There's this kind of back and forth, tit for tat kind of thing. Kind of win at any costs, but it kind of, it's funny, I'm not really sure why I'm getting all of that because it's not exactly telling me that either. I'm gonna pull a moon card and just see what else is coming up because I don't exactly have it, to be honest with you. Emotions are running high. Group one got that too. So maybe some of you, if you're drawn to it, to watch the first reading too. Yeah, there seems to be like kind of some sort of a dispute with someone or some people. And there's just this back and forth going on. It's not healthy. It seems super all over the place. And someone has rocked the boat, you or someone else, or they're always rocking the boat. Your ideas, yeah, who and what is around you. Could be something to do with your local friend group, your neighbors, people just around you day to day. There's emotions running high. There's a need for balance. This is kind of like the last card. There's a need for balance. There's a need to like stop because something is going to change. You're changing something. I feel like you're the one who's kind of like going to stand in your power and kind of say, no, I don't accept this anymore, or no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not in this drama anymore. I can't do this. It could be family, it could be people you kind of live with or you see daily. There could be just something going on there that isn't very healthy emotionally for you. And you're going to put a stop to it or change it, but it's going to cause some friction. But I mean, it seems like there's already friction, or else whatever you've done or said has already caused this friction. But it just seems to kind of go on forever. It just kind of seems like the 2 3s and all these options and back and forth and up and down. It's a pattern repeating, or it's something that's never ending. It's always kind of the same. I'm just going to pull one more. Sorry, this reading isn't very satisfying. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. Yeah, I think that's the kind of balance. There's an awful lot of water here, so it's all very emotional. It's when there's nothing really grounding this reading. If you can, go away for a trip. If not, like because it's so watery as well, I think close to water though, you're being kind of called to go there. Meditate and contemplate. I would meditate if you can't go on a trip. Or even just kind of do a visualization of washing off whatever's going on in the shower or something. Something around water is very healing to your emotions. Yeah. Saturn in Pisces could be activating something, which means there's kind of a hardened stance to do with something, or a kind of a limitation to do with something, or your limits are being reached with your emotions, or someone's limits are being reached with emotions. So I would meditate and go on a trip if possible. Meditation can be like a trip if you're into that. But that's what I have for you, group 3. I hope there was something in it for you. So thanks for watching.